Joey for Witches of the Moon, and I haven't had my face on camera for a while because of the drilling and stuff that goes on next door, but so far, and it's a little bit later than I normally record, we don't have any noise. I'm just going to move the microphone a bit closer in case I had problems the other day. Right, so this week's topic, makeupless face, enjoy that. This week's topic, let's get back on topic, is do witches cast spells? And I will try and branch out from that a little bit, discuss that in a little more depth, a little bit more detail, a little bit sidetracking maybe, because I can answer that quite briefly and quite definitely in a few short sentences, and I don't want to do that. I want to explore the idea a little bit more. So if you look, got my fossil so to keep me grounded, because I don't want to waffle on about nonsense. I want to keep it within the spell casting area. Okay, so the short answer is it depends very much on the witch, and I realise that the stereotype of a witch is obviously the spell casting. You know, that's what a lot of people associate with witches. Witches cast spells, it's just what they do, and then you see it in mythology, you see it in your stereotypical movies, you see all this sort of different idealization or sort of craziness of what they can actually do, you know, lightning from fingertips and whatnot, which makes it all very exciting, but it's not very accurate. I wish I could. Right. So, again, it depends on the witch, and let's explore a little bit what I think actually spellcasting is, and then we will talk a little bit about my experience with it and that sort of thing. I think that's the best plan of attack. So, to me, when I get like negative comments about spell work and stuff, I'm saying, why do you think it's so different from, say, praying and requesting something from the universe? Because to me that is what the essence of spellcasting is about. You are putting your energies into a need or desire to manifest something. So that to me is no different than, you know, lighting a candle and praying for help with whatever. My sister, who is a Nordic pagan, used to go to a Catholic church and light a candle for my grandmother after she passed, and she does that every year on the anniversary of her birthday. I think she does it on, and that's available there for non-pagans and pagans alike, I guess, to go and sort of light a candle in memory, and it's a bit like the spell there would be of remembrance, of honouring the ancestor. It's a slightly different way of looking at spell work, that you can tie it into everything, and it's not just about I need money. So I wish it would work so easily, but the universe is complicated, and I'm a strong believer in that if you deeply need something, and you deeply call for something that you need and is right for you, then it will manifest. Because spell work is basically putting that request out into the powers that be, the universe, spirit, source, however you see it, and saying, I desperately need help with. That being said, I think a lot of people seek out witches and seek out witchcraft initially because they think they can cast spells to better their life and get that guy, get that girl, get that dream job, and forget that, you know, consequences, and it might not be right for you, and all this, that, and the other. Excuse me. So, needing and wanting something and putting that out into the universe is part and parcel of being a witch, but you could call that part and parcel of being anybody, any human, you know, anybody who gets down their knees and just either asks for help and they're not even sure what they're doing. That is in effect a form of spell work. That's all praying, in spell work is. It's just that witches utilise ingredients, spell ingredients, candles, whatever, to focus their energy. So they use things that tap into their own energy source. So if you used a green candle for prosperity, it's sort of tapping into your psychological innate colour recognition of green being wealth, green being money, green being fertility, green being abundance. And then again, if you were using a pink candle for love or a red candle for passionate love, then those things are tapping into your psyche in some way to help you manifest that within your own energy fields and ask the universe to assist you with manifesting these things. Most spell work will require you to actually go out and do something, and spell work can often be a precursor to sort of building yourself up to doing something. So if you had a big job interview, you might do that, and it just helps you to get in the right mindset for spell work, to get into that place where you can feel the right way, you can feel the energies the right way. Perhaps there will be a little poof moment in your mind where you say the right thing that helps you get the job, and that's just the universe helping you to help yourself. Now the other side of this, I guess I wanted to sort of touch on, is the idea that you are not a witch if you don't cast spells. And I've said before, and I'll say it here again, some of the most incredible, powerful and wonderful witches I've ever met are women and men that rarely, if ever, cast spells. It's not about spell work for them, it's about personal journey. I've known witches that basically just engage in ritual, in honouring the divine, honouring their relationship with the divine, and then sort of exploring their own path. They might take divination into account, they might take their ritual, their energy work into account, they might take meditation into account, but they don't feel the need very often to do spell work. And I've known people who sort of encourage people to think of spell work as sort of a last resort, like have you exhausted every means, or are you just using it willy-nilly and you're not really understanding the sacred nature of what spell work can be and should be. Spell work is a sacred thing. You can understand that better if you understand it as it's not literally, candle turner, murder, poof. It's basically this part and this part and this part and this part, and they all twisting together into an interlinking thing, which is coming into your energy field, your body, your mind, your spirit, your soul, all coming together and reaching out to the divine. Right? So it's like the idea of the spiral of energy power, if you don't know what I mean. Scott Cunningham talks about that in his spell work books. And it's basically sending out a message to the universe, opening yourself up to things, and quite often people are like, my spell didn't work like I was expecting it to, why not? And it's like, well, the universe is pushing you in the direction that it has a bigger picture, maybe. It has a better idea. Sometimes we get caught up in our own selfish wants and needs, and we're like, I really want money to drop in my lap, and then instead of that, maybe you get the opportunity to do something which will lead you to be better off financially. It's going to take hard work with that, but you've been given the opportunity, and you have to learn to see the opportunity and stop trying to glean. I didn't get a huge amount of money that I needed, but then I did get this little shoot. And rather than getting the whole forest thrown at you, you get a little shoot, and it's up to you to then embrace the gifts that you've been given and work on them. Honour what you have been given, be thankful for what you have given, and open yourself up to receiving more and achieving more, because it's a receiving and giving back situation. A lot of people often don't realise that spell work can be used to give back to other people and the divine, and through other people, through the fact of the divine, because you are just giving unto yourself. You send energy to other people to help others in need. Some people do it for nature reasons, for healing the land. Some people do it for people, so specifically or in general. I've lit candles when they've and done spell work for example, when there have been disasters in the world, and obviously there's a great amount of pain and tension around that sort of situation, loss of life, death, pain, sadness, hurting, and spell work is something that witches can utilise not just for selfish means, but to give back, to heal the balance, to heal those in pain, to help those through. It's a bit like charity giving, and it's how you approach it. Because some people give to charities and other people to make themselves feel better about themselves. Like, I gave X amount of money to this fund, so I don't have to think about it anymore. And then some people have a desperate need to help, and they think, right, well, I've got a little bit of spare cash, this is an important issue, I can put that into there. And those people are unlikely to stop there. They're like, what else can I do? Can I give my time? Can I give my feelings? Can I give my thoughts? I mean, we have to be careful how much of our energy and everything else we give. We can't give everything we have, otherwise we can't survive, we can't sustain ourselves. But energy and spell work can be a really beautiful thing to utilise to help other people with, generally, with their permission. Again, if you were working with a specific person that you knew and you knew they wouldn't approve, then it's not really something I would recommend that you do, because you're sort of forcing something onto someone that they don't want. I've heard people and said to people, it comes up a lot with love magic and love spells, and this is twofold, because this is where a lot of what people call dabbling comes from, because they want to make that boy love them, they want to make that girl love them, and they're not thinking about free will, they're not thinking about the fact that they're not honouring the processes behind it, they're not honouring divinity, they just want a spell done for them, and they want the result without putting the effort in, maybe without thinking, maybe this person's wrong for me, maybe spell work has a serious side to it, and I think it's something that should be considered. It's, you don't have to engage in witchcraft at all. You don't have to engage in spell work at all to be a witch. You could just be working on yourself, your meditations, your relationship with the divine, making yourself a better person in your mind, improving yourself and growing and becoming more spiritually aware, and you can be a solid human being, you can be a powerful witch without casting spells. And you should only do this sort of thing when you feel ready for it as well. When I was coming into my path, people tried to force me into things before I was ready, and fortunately I had enough strength of will, because I knew they were energy prayers as well. People who prey on energy will try and force you either to do things or not do things, so they can nick your energy, and it's because you're not fully aware of what you're doing, your spell work goes awry, and some people can feed off that energy. Be wary of that. And nobody should tell you that you should do a spell, nobody should tell you, maybe some people could advise you not to do certain things, like if you're harming people, I would advise against that. And, some people basically say there is no karmic repercussion of spell work, and that is not what I found at all. And that the reason for that is, again, tying into the idea of what spell work actually is. It's all these little bits of pieces that you're pulling together, pulling energies from. I'm pulling energies from herbs, I'm pulling energies from crystals, I'm pulling energy from colour magic, I'm pulling it from fire, I'm pulling it from candles, pulling all of this energy in, putting it into my psyche, putting my mind in, clicking my mind into the right place, and then releasing that energy into the world. Now, you're doing all that to harm someone. You are tying yourself into energies to harm someone. You're putting yourself in front of the divine and saying, I want to harm another one of your children. Think about it. I don't think it's a good idea, personally. I fully agree with protecting, I fully agree with reflecting, because there are not pleasant people out there. But purposely seeking harm through spell work is something to really consider what you are actually doing. Nobody is immune to the divine, and that's what spell work is, tapping into it, basically. Now, the other side of this is, that I lastly wanted to address, is that there is, a popular culture of sort of sell with regards to spell work. When I was first engaging into the world of witchcraft and spell work, I actually bought one of the spell kits. And I got a lot of flack for it as well, but I didn't buy it because I didn't want to do it myself or whatever. I bought it at the time because I was brand new to everything, and I wanted to see how someone else would have pieced something like that together. I was severely disappointed where I thought it was rubbish then. And ever since, I put my spells together in a the very way that is myself. I hope this makes sense. Because I can't put a spell together like someone else would. I have to put it together how I would, and I quite frequently balance all the elements in mine. I quite frequently use candle magic in everything because I adore it. I take from here and here and here and here, and if you ever listen to me when I'm putting something together, I'm like, this has come from here because of this, and the colour association is this, and the Celtic meaning is this, and this and this and this, and I'm drawing everything together, and that's how I do spell work. It's not going to work for everybody, but it works for me. So I hope I've addressed some of the questions to do with spell work. I find it a little bit difficult to talk about it too much without going way off tangent, so I hope I've covered the main bits and pieces that I wanted to. And that's it for today's video for this channel. I hope you enjoyed that, and many blessings.